let's go to ABL. Okay, ABL. Let's talk about. Okay, you've heard, Andre, very successful person. Don Calypso worked very hard. Just got naturalized. Now, what's your thought processes on immigration? You talked about a little bit yesterday on the show, but let's kind of take it for however you want to take it in your way.
Well, my thing is this. Coming to America shouldn't be a thing that anybody could do. It shouldn't be open to just any old Tom, Dick, and Harry. This is the most sought after country in the entire world out of all the other ones. There are a lot of other good places in the world, but right here in America, this is where it's at. This is where everybody wants to come and become somebody to help themselves, to help their family, etc. Now, what you got to do is have some kind of system in place, which there is now, but you need to tighten it up a lot because you got people that come in illegally through the cracks. I think I'll agree with what man said just a little while ago about the illegal immigrants taking the job opportunities and also those that come in through the visa system. Like, okay, you have illegals. We know what they do. They get paid under the table. They're not really paying no taxes. People talking about, oh, they pay Medicare. No, they don't. Like, if you take somebody's social security number, if you're engaging in identity theft, and how are you paying taxes? Like,
that's a very good point.
You're doing something wrong to begin with. You're not paying taxes. You're getting paid under the table, and that's the whole thing. But not only that, but also those that come into some of these, I will call them kind of predatory visas. Like I was saying before, it was a guy that was from Mexico who was brought over here on the visa, not to work in agriculture, but to work in tech. He's getting paid much less than what he should get paid, but he didn't know. He's from Mexico. He doesn't really understand what the going rate of things is. He's still dealing with the mindset of a guy that's used to dealing with pesos, not US dollars. He comes over here, he getting paid like 30 grand to work in the job where he should be getting paid like 60 grand. Stuff like that people don't really talk about. You hear from Barack Obama talking about Mexicans being quote unquote fruit pickers and bed makers, but they don't talk about people from the Indian subcontinent that come over in the Silicon Valley and do menial tech jobs. It's not all these people like the CEO of Google. It ain't all them. You're talking about guys doing word processing, really, really basic stuff that anybody, an American, could do. But since they'll get paid much less to do the job, they'll give it to them. Either they'll employ them over there in Hyderabad and stuff like that, or they'll bring them from New Delhi, Hyderabad, etc., over here to Silicon Valley to work where you could be working yourself. And that's kind of a low skill job. So the illegal immigrants are a problem. The abusive visas are a problem. And also the amount of people that come into the country is a little bit too much. As of right now, we have about 1 million coming in legally every year. That should get cut down to about 500,000. And the reason why I say that is because, number one, it makes sense. Trump's already put it on the table because we got people that are here right now in the country that are starving on the streets, messed up, drug addicted, nowhere to live. That's going on. So until we can solve our issues we have right now that are already existing, until we can make sure that your average American, your veteran is good and taken care of, at least a little bit, we shouldn't be trying to incur more people in, and it shouldn't be more than what it is, because at a certain point, yes, we are a rich country, but you're going to run out of resources. We're not just this, endless pile of money to just be dove into like Scrooge McDuck. This ain't really what it is. We just got to make sure that we have our priorities in the right direction. So legal immigration is cool, but it shouldn't be unfettered, and it shouldn't be this big number. Illegal immigration, absolutely not. Build that wall. If you're here illegally, like Obsidian would say, go back over there. And the visas, you got to tighten up to all these H-1Bs, H-2Bs, H, X, Y, and Z. Tighten that up and just have America be for Americans first. I'll leave it at that.
Let me ask you, you're talking about this abuse visa thing. What do you mean when you say abuse in what are your thoughts about the green card lottery, just very briefly?
Well, the visas I'm talking about, they get abused and they get used too much. Just like this whole thing with people coming over here from the Indian subcontinent to work in Silicon Valley. See what they're doing, they're kind of like, it's kind of a predatory thing. You're bringing them over here on a visa simply because they're going to work for less than an American. That's not much different than somebody coming over here illegally for the exact same purpose. you're abusing the visa system. Now, some would say, well, it's there, they're not really abusing it, but I tend to disagree with that. It shouldn't be used as much as what it's been doing right now, because the whole premise behind it is, well, we can't find Americans to do these jobs. We got to bring people from outside of the country to come do it. But that's not true. People from the Indian subcontinent, they don't always become like the CEO of Google, the Indian guy. We're talking about word processing, basic jobs. You got Americans that are homeless that have these skills, but you can't pay them the same kind of money you would pay a guy or girl from India. That's the point. So people are using one reason to bring them over here, but the reality of the situation is much different.
Thank you for coming on, Brother Tony. What's your thoughts, processes on this immigration piece?
I'm glad that Erica put some numbers up. I'm glad that somebody put some numbers up, because this tired narrative of they took our jobs, they took the jobs. No. Where have you been for the past? I agree with Erica. Where have you been for the past 30 years? Illegal immigration wasn't just a problem, it's been a problem. An example, that if you look at the biggest or the largest Hispanic immigration that I know of during my lifetime took place during the early 80s. The Cubans from Miami came here on the Marietta boat lift. They were admitted criminals from the Cuban prisons. Nobody sent them back. Nobody said a word. As a matter of fact, we made a fictional movie about a guy that didn't exist and made him a part of American culture. We didn't have all this rancor and all this animus towards Cubans who are admittedly racist, who admittedly gentrified and stole, just plain out and out stole communities in Miami, Florida. And we didn't make a peep. We didn't say a peep. Nobody said anything, and those people really took your jobs. I think we got somebody in here from New York City. New York City was practically stolen by the Irish. Stolen by the Irish. And they moved in and took over the police job. But what did they have? They had a vast political machine there that allowed them to do it. John F. Kennedy's granddaddy came there, got control of the police, and they beat our ass all up and down 125th Street. We ain't make a sound. Another group of immigrants came in by the name of Italians, came in with an admitted criminal subculture. What did we do? We acculturated them, integrated them, and amalgamated them into American popular culture. Now we're naming, every rapper is naming himself an Italian name that rhymed with Corleone. So I'm a bit confused as to when we got so upset about immigrants. Now, let me bring this back to the numbers, like what Erica was saying. Right now, I'm in the state of Alabama. Right now, that's my home state. Alabama passed the most stringent law on immigration reform. It's called HB 56. HB 56 went like this. It said, if a person can be detained on suspicion that they're an illegal immigrant, number one. Number two, anybody caught transporting people that turn out to be illegal immigrants can be arrested. Okay. Number three, they had a provision requiring the schools to report the immigration status of new kids that are in the class. Now that's funky. That is funky.
I was there when they did that.
That is sure enough funky. And you know what happened when they did that? The Alabama agricultural industry imploded. All those jobs that everybody said that was open, they had some white people to come in, and here's what the white Alabama farmer said. He said the white people come in, he said they're slow, they come late, and they leave by lunch and they don't come back. One man even went so far as to say, I know this is going to make some people mad, but white people just don't want to work. He said, I could get one Hispanic and he can pick. He was a chicken farmer. He said, I can get one Hispanic, and he picked four to five times more chicken than the average white man. They imploded the Alabama agricultural industry, not just the Alabama agricultural industry. When these people came here, these illegal immigrants came here, they also, they have to eat. They have to have some place to fraternize. So guess what they set up? Restaurants, businesses to serve their own people. They practice group economics, the same thing that Dr. Claude Anderson has been preaching for the last 30 or 40 years. Okay? So after they said, well, here's what they did. They couldn't replace them with regular citizens. They went to every trailer park. They went to every hood in Birmingham, and they still couldn't find people to work those jobs. Then it got so funky, they went to every halfway house. They went to every place of ill repute where they could find those people, and those people still couldn't do it. Then they went to prison. They reinstituted the damn chain gangs, and they brought them out there, and the chain gangs still couldn't do it. They had to go back and undo everything that the chain gangs had done. So when this was all over, when the smoke cleared and the dust settled, Alabama's GDP dropped by 6%. 6% for jobs that everybody claimed that the illegal immigrants had, but what nobody wanted to work. What nobody wanted to work, you see. And then we talk about what tribute, how much they cost. Of course, there's cost. I would never deny that. And I'm not going to deny anybody's subjective experience. But I tell you this, those people contribute. If we count up, they contribute just as much as what they take. Now, I know some people going to have a problem with that, but the facts are the facts. Also, I haven't heard, I think Erica may have mentioned something about it, and one of the super chats did. I haven't heard one person say, punish those people, even though there are laws on the books against hiring illegal immigrants. That is illegal. In some states, it's a felony. But regardless of the fact that it's a felony, I haven't heard one person say, punish the people that are hiring. And I know no one on this panel, I have yet to hear anybody talk about NAFTA. I have yet to hear anybody talk about NAFTA and the effects that NAFTA played on spiking immigration. And that was by the hand of the government. So I'm in line when the conservatives talk about limited government intervention. I agree with you, because that was a government monopoly given to American transnational corporations to put Mexican farmers out of business. So here's my question. Do you think you would let me come in your house, defecate in your living room, wash myself in your bathroom, and then go back home to my home and expect for it to stay clean? Nah, you wouldn't allow that in a million years. So if you wouldn't allow that, what would make you think they would allow that? Now, the narrative is that everybody that's coming across the border are criminals. That is simply not true. There are some people that are coming across the border, they're farmers. There are some people coming across. It's facts. It's facts.
Who said that?
Hold on.
No. Let me respond to him. No. I'll tell you who said it. Dr. William Higgins, the chief economist of the AFL-CIO.
He's wrong. He's wrong.
Hold on. One at a time. Go ahead.
He measured the black unemployment rate. The black employment rate from the time before the period of mass immigration to the period of mass immigration. And those studies showed no change in black unemployment levels. So clearly, according to that study, and he put this on TV, by the way. It's in print, but he put it on television. It's on television, for God's sakes. And it showed that there was no substantive effect against black unemployment by the presence of illegal immigrants, but by the same token, the people that locked you out of the unions, which were the Irish, the people that locked you out of the public service jobs, which were the Italians,
legal immigrants had an impact.
Hold on, ABL, hold on. I'll let you respond.
What did he say?
Tony Mason, I'll give you about 30 seconds, okay? I'll let you respond. Hold on, ABL, full circle, and then I'll 30 seconds. Go ahead.
We didn't have anything to say about the Irish. We didn't have anything to say about the Italians. We didn't have anything to say about the Cubans. We don't have anything to say about the Asians. So if you didn't have anything to say when they actually took your jobs and they released criminals into your society and were responsible for the explosion of crack, then it is hypocritical to stand up and say something now about people that are coming over. Yes, some of them are criminals, but a lot of them are displaced people that were washed out through American foreign policy.
Man, please.
Okay. No, it's interesting. It's an interesting thing. Okay,
No,
let me
it is what it is.
Talking about dudes in soccer jerseys.
No. Next person. All right, let's go ahead, ABL.
Yeah, this whole thing, I heard a lot of caping for illegal immigrants coming over here. It's like, look, man, ain't nobody trying to hear that. These people, they're not coming from rich countries, but I'm not really trying to hear their problems. Their problems are their problems. It's not my business. I don't care about nothing that nobody else did. At the end of the day, they got to tighten up. Can't be blaming the U.S. for their problems. These people have had problems for a very long time, and they're not that bad. They're coming over here wearing soccer jerseys, tight haircuts. A lot of these people in the so-called migrant caravan that's right there at the southern border look better than American citizens. And how are they being fed? What's really going on? See, this is a whole game that's being played. They're trying to overwhelm the border for political reasons. All right. You got 7,000 people. That's what they say it is right now. And yet they're all fed. They all look good. Look well taken care of. Who's doing that? It's a hurricane coming right there. Is it going to break up the little caravan? I doubt it. They probably got hotels and whatnot to stay in. I'm not really trying to hear all that stuff at the end of the day. And there are a lot of criminals that come over their border. The drug cartels in Mexico are 100% real. They're dead real. I was in El Paso. I was on the street talking to people, and they were telling me about how people would have their bodies dumped into canisters of acid to get rid of them. I heard these stories from people that was right there. I saw the border. I saw the helicopters and the drones and all that kind of good stuff because of all the violence that's right across the border. People were telling me about El Paso and Juarez. Juarez is totally violent, just terrible, and it's right there, right over the border. You can see it. I was right there in the hotel at UTEP, and I could see it. But right over in El Paso is safe and it's nice and everything's good. It's because of the difference between the U.S. government and Mexico's government. They have problems that they got to fix. That's not our fault, and it's not my responsibility as an American citizen to deal with their problems. All right, so I'm not really trying to hear all that. They got to tighten up. They got to fix whatever they got going on. And as far as the jobs that Americans don't want to do, like I was saying earlier, these people are not just coming over here doing agricultural work. They're also doing tech jobs that are easy and low skilled that people are really wanting to do. Word processing, simple stuff like that these companies are taking advantage of laws that are bad laws on the books to allow them to do so. And as far as punishing anybody that's hiring illegal immigrants, of course, that should go without notice. But what's the bigger deal if you raid a factory that has 100 illegal immigrants or the one guy that's in charge of it? What's the bigger issue? They all should get locked up, in my humble opinion. They should be cellmates. Everybody put them in one cell. But what's the bigger issue? You got 30 million or 32 million, whatever, illegal immigrants versus a few people here and there that may break the law. What is the bigger issue? What's the bigger fish to fry? We need to focus on the bigger fish to fry, border security, and tightening up legal immigration as well, rather than, little small low-hanging fruit. But that's all I got.
Okay. Let me just do this real quick. I'll let we'll go to Don.
I would like to respond to that at some point.
At some point, yes. At some point. No, I get you.
You don't get away with that one, Jack.
I'll let you get him. At some point, but gotta get to everybody else. Hold on. I'll let you get.
Checking them out.
Hold on. Look,
I hope you are.